Hello and welcome to today's coffee chat. I'm Erin Burns with Burns Estate Planning and Wealth Advisors, and I am a certified estate planner.
And I'm Jaime Courtney. I'm a paralegal, and I'm also a certified estate planner.
And today we're going to be talking about incentive trusts.
That's really a hot topic these days.
I mean, it really is because it's such an important tool, but we're going to explain what that is. So an incentive trust is an estate planning tool that includes benchmarks that trigger the trustee making greater or fewer trust distributions when a particular conduct or behavior is taken by the beneficiary. Okay, now that was a mouthful. So Jaime,
well, simply put, it's incentive provisions inside of your revocable living trust. It allows you to pass on your values, encourage good behavior, and disencourage bad behavior.
Mm-hmm. Well, so it's like essentially it's if you do this, you get this. If you don't do this, then you don't.
Right. It's allowing you to bribe from the grave.
But whatever works.
Right. Whatever works.
Okay. So let's get serious and briefly describe what a trust is. In particular, a revocable living trust. It's simply a tool to avoid succession or probate, depending on the state that you live in or that you own property in. It's simply a tool that is used to avoid probate or succession. Probate or succession is the legal process to get assets out of your name once you are deceased and puts them into the names of your spouse or your heirs, whoever they may be.
That's correct. And in Louisiana, we do succession. It's not probate. But also with a revocable living trust, it's something that's custom tailored to you. You get to decide how your estate is distributed, whether it's beneficiary specific or asset specific.
So your incentive trust would be inside of your trust?
Yes. It's provisions inside of your trust.
So why would someone want to incorporate incentives?
Well, Erin, sadly, we live in a world that is full of entitled and enabled people. Putting incentive provisions inside of your trust, it allows you to not create those type of people, to avoid trust fund babies, and it allows you to motivate those that may have little or no motivation.
Yes, and that is a very, very good point. And I think it was Warren Buffett that said, I'm going to read this, leave your children enough so that they can do anything, but not so much that they won't do anything.
And those are very good words to live by.
Yeah, I agree. So what are some incentives that you've seen lately that someone can incorporate?
We get a lot of them that are academic achievements, whether it be grade point average or a certain degree. We have income provisions. We have substance abuse provisions.
Very important these days.
And that's what's great about a trust. You're able to basically decide what kind of provisions you want inside of it.
Well, that's great because sometimes people need it to be protected from themselves. But what are some of the things that could go wrong if you have like specific incentives in your trust?
Not allowing your trustee to have the flexibility to determine when things can be a little bit off of what you said. You know, circumstances change, and we need to make sure your trust allows you to be able to adapt to those circumstances.
Yeah. So earlier, that brings up a good point. Earlier, you mentioned an incentive as achieving a certain grade point average. So I guess the example would be if you maintain a B average, then you get $2,000 a month extra spending money in college. Okay. So what if someone incorporates that into their trust for their grandchildren, for example, and they pass away, but at the time their trust was created, those children were just that, children. And when they're growing up, their college age, you're deceased and you put in that incentive to make a certain grade point average, you get X amount of dollars. But then what if there's such as like a learning disability that comes up? Maybe that grandparent didn't know, and that child really, really wants to go to college. They are enrolled in college, but no matter how hard they try, they just can't keep that B average.
That's where it comes in important, where your trustee has flexibility.
Yes,
they need to be able to determine when the rules can be bent a little bit, because you want to reward good behavior, but you don't want to punish someone for not being able to achieve what maybe their siblings have achieved.
Exactly. So the good thing about these trusts is that once they are established, they can be changed.
Absolutely.
So incentives as your children or grandchildren grow up, get older, as you see different personalities, different behaviors, you can always adjust it to meet those needs. And also giving the trustee the flexibility, it makes a big difference.
Right.
So if you have questions about incentive trust or anything else that we've talked about today, feel free to reach out to our office. You can speak to me, speak to Jaime, or anyone else on our team of certified estate planners. And we look forward to seeing you next time at our coffee chat. Cheers.
Cheers.